Ever since Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out, it's been tearing ass around the backyard with well over 100 copies sold. And there's many reasons why this game's on fire right now, but the main one's definitely because it's the biggest crossover in gaming history, which isn't just a marketing slogan either. There's over 80 different franchises involved, with many of them being from third-party developers. And with there being so many characters and references in the game that Nintendo doesn't own, one has to wonder how much third parties get paid to have their characters featured in Smash Ultimate, if anything at all. And since nobody on the internet seems to know besides this butt dumpling right here won't tell me, I thought it'd be fun to speculate. So close the curtains, lock your door, don't let anybody in no matter what, press the subscribe button if you haven't already, and allow me, the 8th best luchador in my law firm, Cameron, to speculate how much money third parties may or may not make from Smash Bros. Ultimate. Okay, so full disclaimer, my answer to how much third parties probably get paid for their characters to be in Smash Ultimate is simply this.
I don't know.
I could only find a handful of forums where this topic was even mentioned, and I haven't even seen anybody else on YouTube talking about it. So the main point of this video was to create a discussion in the comments rather than me claiming to know all the answers. Cause I'll tell you right now, we're getting to the bottom of this, and I don't give a frig if it's at the top. So if you work at Capcom, Konami, Sega, LJN, or any other company with an IP in Smash, just comment below what Nintendo paid you, if anything at all. And I know some people are probably enraged beyond belief that I'd suggest the possibility that some, if not all these characters are in Smash for free. But if you ask my BHUTTE, it'd certainly be worth it to have your characters represented in Smash if you're a third-party developer, cause it's not like you'd have to do any extra work or anything, so why not just let your character be in a game that pretty much everybody loves? Cause I'm sure there's assloads of people out there who have become fans of new games thanks to Smash Bros. I mean, Fire Emblem was pretty much taken off death row due to the international interest Melee brought to the series, and it seems to have helped the Mother series get a following outside of Japan as well, even though it was too little too late since we still don't have Mother 3, which probably causes the 7 Smash fans who don't have internet to wonder who the frig Lucas is. So if you own the IP to a video game character, then you'd be insane to not want it in Smash, because much like my neighbor Terry's birthday parties, it's a big honor to be invited, and you wouldn't not want to be there if given the opportunity. Besides, this whole third parties in Smash business started when Hideo Kojima's son asked his dad why none of his characters were in the game, which really rocked his world and caused him to ask Nintendo to put Snake in Melee, despite Metal Gear always having snubbed Nintendo consoles in the past. But since Melee was already almost done by the time Kojima asked, Nintendo just put Snake in Brawl instead. But since Kojima himself was asking a personal favor of Nintendo, it's not implausible that he didn't want any money in return. And besides, just look at how many third-party IPs are in the game. If Nintendo was paying for every single spirit they don't own, then surely they'd go bankrupt, right? Well, not exactly given how much money Smash Ultimate's making. And while it would have sold amazing regardless, the fact that so many different third-party characters are in the game definitely generated more buzz. Cause Smash Ultimate's definitely got something for everyone. I mean, just look at how well Mario and Sonic at the Olympics sold solely based on the characters involved. And since Nintendo's making so much money off Smash Ultimate, it'd kinda be a dick move of them out of principle to just not pay these companies anything, even though the perks of having your IP in Smash is worth it alone. After all, Wayne's World had to pay Queen to use Bohemian Rhapsody, even though it being in the movie revived the song's popularity in the US, making the band assloads more money on top of the licensing fees they got. And besides, with how much money Smash Ultimate probably cost to make in the first place due to the game's depth, licensing fees were probably the least in Nintendo's expenses. So aside from the free promotion, I'm sure third parties get something in exchange, especially for the DLC, where people are paying for specific characters. So the real question's just how much do these companies make? Is it percentage-based, one flat fee, sexual favors from Reggie, or is it all of the above? Well, I think licensing for video games is usually based on percentages of what the game ends up making, or at least it used to be in the Tony Hawk games until Mike V's mustard ass ruined it for everybody by offering his likeness for free. But it is possible that Smash Ultimate gives IP owners a small percentage of the sales. Although, Ashante's beard isn't nearly as valuable to selling copies of the game as Simon Belmont is for being a playable character. So I have no idea how they'd divide the pie up with so many different people involved. Cause at that point, the crossover pot would be spread so thinly to where third parties are making fractions of a penny for every copy sold. Kinda like when you sign up for a class action lawsuit for products you never bought in the first place, only to get a $2 check in the mail like a year later. So it might actually be more lucrative for third parties to just go ahead and get a flat fee, or it'd at least be less complicated that way. But if that were the case, then it'd be kinda weird for Nintendo to go out of their way to pay more money for a character like Shovel Knight, who I love immensely, don't get me wrong, but I really don't think even one person bought the game just cause he's a spirit. I mean, yeah, it's a nice thing to do to include indie characters, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the smaller companies companies reached out and offered their characters to be in the game for free. But then again, it'd be weird for smaller indie devs to just invite themselves to a party like Smash Ultimate. But it'd also be weird for Nintendo to ask these companies to be in the game for free. It's like, hey guys, you want to be in the game for free even though we're paying everybody else? I mean, you swines are lucky we're even asking, so you'd better thank us. At the absolute least, I doubt Nintendo paid as much for the smaller and lesser featured characters. But what about the companies who have multiple IPs in Smash? Does Nintendo pay developers for the right to just use any of their franchises they want? I know it sounds crazy for Nintendo to pay each company a flat fee to use whatever characters they want, but if they really paid Konami just to have Bomberman as an assist trophy, then the Bomberman fanbase had better stop complaining before Sakurai whoops your candy ass. And if it's not a case of paying each company for whatever characters they wanted, which I really don't think, then has Nintendo at least offered some kind of buy one get one half off type of deals in the cases of Mega Man and Street Fighter who are both owned by Capcom? I'm sure once Nintendo pays for a franchise they could use whatever songs and spirits they want, but they'd obviously have to have every character that's featured and everything done to said characters approved by the respective developers, like how Sonic can only be portrayed in shades of blue and black. Cause, you know, Sega would never do anything to make Sonic look bad. I mean, the blue blur being portrayed as the Tickle Me Pink blur would surely bankrupt Sega overnight after all. So I can't say that I blame them or any other company for wanting to look out for their babies. Cause you wouldn't give the keys to your Dodge out to just anybody without knowing exactly where they're going and what they're doing once they get there. And especially due to the fact that everybody involved in the project is keeping the compensation for third-party characters such a tight secret, it's pretty obvious to me that Reggie-san himself took one for the team and hoarded himself off to all these developers. And if you don't believe me, then just look at his eyes when he's talking about the Joker DLC at the Video Game Awards and try to tell me he didn't have to go through a hot Carl or two to seal the deal. Rest in peace, Reggie's soul. Thanks for all the characters. We hardly knew ye. But all this is just my speculation, and I'd really like to know what you think it costs to get so many different characters involved in one game. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, I'll pin whatever I find most entertaining or intriguing. And if you want to be a sexy beast, then consider supporting us on Patreon for Polaroids and loot boxes in the mail. Or land yourself a hot day by picking an FU Game Crew shirt or coffee mug up in our store. And if you want to appear in our videos, then just send us pictures or videos of you rocking the merch like this badass right here. Don't forget to press the subscribe button to prove to the world you're a 500-foot tall robot monster. And if you like and share this video, then it'll really go a long way to help this channel grow, which would really help me feed my 6 illegitimate fathers. My name's Cameron, and I'll see you next time.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty, thank you for your support.